In the last class, we had a dis- in the last class, what we had discussion, we had a discussion about what is catalog and how we can create a catalog and how we can create a catalog item in the front end. So now today we will discuss about how we can create what is this? Yep. So this is the one. So yesterday, what happened? We had a discussion about what we are going to the one. So this is the front end thing. So for example, if you submit this record, let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm just selecting a well tutor and the manager. Maybe we can pick random person. So right now I'm not giving anyone earphones and the brand is Samsung and something like and if I click on order now, the request will be submitted automatically and it will generate even a request. From that request, we can so this is the request. Whenever in the service now, if any catalog item is submitted, a request will be generated automatically. From that request, we can create a requested item. So a requested item will be created automatically and once the requested item is created, this is the variables they are seeing and here I think since it is a some default workflow is there for that. So what happened, there is a two task is generated. If these two tasks is generated, so then what happens, so if we close this one, what we can say, if I close this one, still it is open. So I'm just going to mark this one as a complete. I'm sorry, this item is still open. And this task I'm just marking as a complete. So if those two tasks is completed, then this will be changes on. That means what are the task is associated with the requested item. So in the service catalog, what happened? Whenever if you apply something, it will be create a request that maybe we can call as a REQ, reservation terminology. And from that request, a requested item will be created. We call it as RITM. And from that RITM, if you want to, we can create a catalog task. We can create it. So the request, that means the request is nothing but what is the catalog item is submitted. Then automatically a request will be created. Once the request is created, from that the requested item is created. In that, depending upon the requested item what we have configured, it will be automatically it generates a catalog task. So this is the basic thing, and now what we are going to do is, this is the fundamental, and what I am just going to do is, this is the basic thing, and here there is a execution plan. Default was there. Now what I am going to do is, so here I will just create a one workflow for this. We will create a workflow. So from that workflow we can generate the approvals and all other things. Let's see how we can see it now. Sorry, this is the workflow editor. So the workflow editor or workflow So I'll just click on new. Here we can write a, so what is the workflow name? So I'm just making, so headphones request, and the table is, what is the table headphones? So that is a requested item. So for any catalog item, we will build a workflow on the requested item table only. So that is a one, and one all the things. Now I'm just submitted this one. Now a workflow was created automatically. Now what I am going to do is, so I'm just opening this item. Okay, this we already created it. So here what I am happening is the workflow. So what are that workflow? I'm just attaching here automatically. Now this is the basic thing. A workflow is attached automatically from that one. Now for example, this is the workflow. So this will called as a workflow canvas. Whatever we are drawing here, that is a workflow canvas. I'm just giving a heading here. Here you can see here, this is the core activities. So here, whatever we are seeing, these are all called as a workflow core activities. The in the workflow, the core activities were approvals, conditions, notification, on call, service catalog, and subflows, task, timer, and utilities. So this is the one of the interview question. The interview may ask what is a workflow and what are the core activities for that workflow. So which means the core activities is nothing but, so the workflow is nothing but, it's a workflow, the core activities. So the what are the main activities in that one? So these are all the one, like approvals, conditions, notifications, on call, service catalog, subflows, task, timer, and utilities. This is the one. So now the approvals. So for example, if you see the approvals, this is the approvals. There are these are also different approvals. First one is approval group, approval user, approval action, approval coordinator, generate, manual approvals, and rollback. So approval group is nothing but, if you want to trigger approval to the group, so you can go to the approval group, creates a group of approval record or set of group approval records. That means this activity generates approval record for each member of the group. So if you are into trigger one group approval, we can trigger it. And approval user, this activity is used to create a user approval record or set of user proposal records. Use activity to request approval record from the independent one. And approval action, whether we can record the approval is marked as a, either it should be approved or it should be a rejected, we can do it. And approval coordinator is an activity, it's a container where one or more approvals will be there. That means this approval coordinator is responsible for the approvals. And generate, so it immediately generate a create a task or approval records for this one. So if you want to trigger a approvals, there also we can use. And manual approvals, we can use the manual approval activity. So just it will outside of the workflow if the user is doesn't belong to anyone. And rollback, that is nothing but if the user is if the, for example, if the it was undo, you want to do the undo any other thing, we can use the rollback option. This is the one. And next one is a condition. In the condition activity, we have a if is nothing but, if we can check if the system is laptop, if the system is desktop, like that we can configure it. And switch is nothing but, if you want to perform a multiple actions, switch active first check determine the value of field possible, one or several case values. So for example, if you selected a multiple options, For example, if you have an option called user can select a desktop and laptop, so at the time what we need to do, so wait for condition, so it will wait for the condition which may have to do it. And wait for double f event. Double f is nothing but if you want to wait for a workflow event, so that we can do it. So these are the two main activities which is a core activities of the workflow, which is approval and condition. So till now you clear, right? So next step is the notification. What is notification? A simple. We have already created notification, right? From the table level. Same thing. If you want to configure the same thing, notification from the this what we can see, which is from the workflow. If you want to configure email notification, we can create the same thing for it. This is the basic thing for you. And next one, on call. On call, for example, there is some on call right now we are not using this module, so which is the one. So right now we need to discuss about this one. And next one, service catalog. If you want to have subscriptable order guide, there is a order guide is concept is there. So which can be what I call scriptable order guide allows the customer to make a single service catalog. That means, so if you use this scriptable order guide, what happened, it will allow the system to from one request to multiple service request, which means multiple RITMs are will be we can create. That means one request for multiple things. We can use this one. Next one is the subflows. Subflows is nothing but if you want to have a parallel flow launcher, which means if you want to add a workflow inside the workflow, then we can use the uh, parallel workflow for the same thing for it. That means if you want to add any other thing, the subflow, so we can use the same thing here. And the next step is tasks. Task is nothing but if you want to attachment or activity, that means attachment note is the note activity adds the attachment to the current record. That means, for example, uses. So if you want to add any attachment to the task, we can add it. Next one, catalog task. If you want to create a catalog task, we can create a catalog task. Or if you want to create any task which is a one action from the task table, we can do it. Catalog task is nothing but if you want to create a task from the catalog task, which is a table SC underscore task, we can do it. Or if you wanted to create a task from any action, any table which was action from the task table, we can use the create a task. This is the basic thing. I hope it till now is clear, right? Because this is the very important the workflows, the ITSM project. If you are working on the completely on catalogs and this workflows. Next one is the timer activity. So if you want to check that timer, for example, you want to calculate update the record after 2 hours or one day or something like at the time. So we can use this timer activity. This is the one. And next one, we have an option called utilities branch. That means if you want to divide the activity, so we can use the branching activity. So that means which will be multiple things. We can one activity we can have as a multiple things. And next one is a join activity. Join activity is nothing but for multiple activities we can convert as a one activity. And next one, lock is nothing but the current record. The access of the workflow will be lock it. We can use it. And log message, if you want to uh, check any logs from the workflow, we can use the same thing. And log trace is nothing but if you want to trace that one, we can use the same thing. Return value that will enable the software flow to returns the data to the parent flow. That means if you want to pass the data from parent to the sorry child to the subflow to the parent, so that what happened, it will be useful for the same thing. Now now the next step was what we can do is so here we have seen it, Next one is the run script. That means if you want to execute any script here, so what we will do is we will use that run script option, and from that we can use the same thing for it. Now, next step, set values. If you want to set any values manually, we can use the set values. And next one, unlock wherever we have locked here. If you want to unlock, we can use it. Next one, turn cell. Turn cell is an activity. See, turns all if you want to restrict the workflow or some point from the same level, we can use the turns all activity. So how many times you need to pass it from that for that workflow, we can use the turns all. This is the one of the most common asked trick question. The interviewer may ask what is the turn cell. Turn cell is an activity which we can use in the workflow. So if you want to control or restrict the how many times you need to pass it from the same point, we can use the same thing, the turn cell. These are the main and core and uh, fundamental activities when you come to the this what we can say workflow activities. So these are the main. Later you can check and you can read each and every one by one, so that you can get some idea about what you can do for the same thing. So now you understand, right, what is the uh, fundamental, what is the core activities. You got some idea or any confusion? Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Now we'll come to the picture. Now what we can do is first, whenever if a report is submitted, so I need to some you need to send a what we can say upload to the one particular group. Okay. So I'm just making assume that hardware group upload, for example, hardware group. Right now, I'm not anyone. So here I am not writing any condition. And here, what is a group? So what is a group? We can write a hardware group. We can pick it here and we can lock it this one. That means it will go to the hardware group. And next step, advanced, if you want to write any script, you can write. Right now, I'm not writing any script. Next one, time zone. That means if you want to this workflow, this activity, use the which time zone we need to do it. And due days, what are the due date, how many days it was due, and schedule, what are the schedule we need to do it. And next one, wait for an approval from each group. So wait for a condition for approval, which means so you wait for an approval from each group. So which means it has to wait for the approval for the each and every group. For example, if you have multiple groups, so what we can do the same thing. Next one is a reject the approval. So if somebody has rejected, then what should has to do. So now I'm just going to submit. So now if it is a approve, oh my god, what happened? Now the approval action. And also here there are five things. There are the workflow stages. The workflow stages is request approved and waiting for approval, fulfillment, delivery, request when cancelled and completed. Request approved is nothing but whenever the request is approved, it will go to the same stage. And waiting for approval is nothing but it is waiting for somebody's approval. Fulfillment is nothing but somebody is already working on that one. And delivery is nothing but somebody is delivering the same thing. And request cancelled is nothing but if you cancel that one, this one, and complete is nothing but that RIDM is completed. So that workflow is completed. So these are the five different stages in the workflow. So sorry, six different stages. So you can check this one later. Now I'm not marking anything. Mark task as approved. If approved. Next one, approved action, reject it. So this is the one. Now I'm just going to publish that one. What is a publish? For example, if you want to use that, apply that workflow, so you can easily publish it. Now, what I am going to do is I'm just going to we have since we have already added. Did we add it? Yes, added. Just close it. Now I'm just going to submit a record here. So Abraham Lincoln and headphones and the brand is Samsung for approval. So test for approval, hardware, and I'm just going to order it here. Now, what happened? A request will be generated automatically. Okay, it is going to the request is generated. Okay, so it is going to a different one. That's okay. So we'll just what are the request created. My request in that one we'll find it a request. Is this the one we created? Yep, I think yes. So if I open this one, I think this yeah, this is the one. See, the item name is coming automatically for the request item, and see what are the we have valued variables. It was added here. And next step. So here it is went for approval. See, it is went for a group approval. So what is a group name? Group name is group approval. The group was what is that group we have given? That is in that group name is not given, but it was went for a hardware group approval. So here what it was there. Mm, okay, that's okay. So here if anybody has approved this one, then it will go to the next step. If I am going to approve on behalf of Beth Anglin, so what happened? It will be approved. The request is approved, but we have not made any values. That's okay. It was not there. See, if you click on this workflow, then what happened? The workflow first it was coming here. It was come here. This one. Now, the next step is I'm just going to change this workflow again. So if somebody is approved, I need to add a one task to the some XYZ group. That means this hardware group is approved. Then what I need to do? I need to if the hardware group is something added, so that what I need to do is I need to create a one task to the one. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to, if you want to modify any workflow, we need to check out it. If you have check out it, then only you can modify it. And remember it, in the production you never make a workflow, what we can say, mm, in the production you never make a workflow is checkout in the production. If you make a change in the production, it will be a headache for you. So instead of it, don't do it. So now what happened here, I'm just going to here, I'm removing this one, I'm just dragging this one. Now catalog task, so hardware sorry, headphones assigning task. Catalog task, here we can give as a priority whatever we require we can write give it a priority and field values and what is the group we can give it. So I'm just making as a hardware group. If you want any else user we can give it. So I'm just making so headphones. And the next one is schedule. If you want to add a schedule we can write it. If you want to add a script we can write it this one. Now I'm just going to submit this one. Now what happened right now what I have added. So if I added, so if that is approved, a task has to generate it. Now this has been done. Oh my god. And I'm just going to publish it again. Now let's see what it happens. We have added this item. So if you want to open it, what is the category we have added? So standard changes, hardware assets. That's okay. I will not found that where is that one. So here I'm just making a lane mode 10 and headphones. Samsung and this one. Now, what is our goal? If that is submitted and if that is approved, and a request has to send to the user called what is this hardware T. A task has to generate to the one. So right now it has been approved. It's not approved, but we need to change the values. So group approval. What I am going to do is sorry. Yeah. If you open this one, if you leave from here, we can approve, or you can just go to the my approvals. So here it will display what are the approvals which was assigned to the logged user. So for example, right now it was the what is the user? It's a good question. Ben Anglin. So what I am going to do is I am just going to impersonate as a Ben Anglin. So just for because since we cannot log in as him, I'm just going to impersonate as a Ben Anglin. So here, what is our item number? 1003. So this guy approve my approvals. So this one right 1003. He will open this record like this. He can approve it. He can approve or reject it. If approve, the record will be approved and we can go for the same step. Now what we have to do is here. So let it be approved. Now Now I'm just making the impersonation as an end and let's see what it happens. Now the requested item, I'm just opening that requested item. So here a requested item is right now it has been approved. Let me open this. So it has been approved and once it is approved, what it contains, it has generated a task. The task name, headphones, request task, whatever we have created here. See here. The headphones request task whatever we have created it will be the same thing for it. So this one got it or any confusion? Wait. Yes, see, as per the workflow what happened here, first what happened, whenever a request is submitted for this one it will trigger a approval for the hardware group. Okay, If hardware group is approved, a catalog task will be automatically created. And then if the catalog task is closed it, then it will be close the workflow. So now what I am going to do is I'm just going to opening a one more request which we can where till now what we have flow we have seen it. We have seen the flow for the approved only. Let's reject. Let's check a flow for how if you reject it, what it happens. This is a very big topic, so it will take another one next one or two classes. Please don't miss it. Yes, yes, workflow and service catalog interlinked. So we don't have separate topic for workflow. See, right now it was one. I'm just opening this for our item. So now what I'm just going to do is so right now it was been reject approved. That's all. It was waiting for approval. That's fine. Now if you want to, I can just going to reject it instead of I'm just impersonate user. I'm just rejecting directly here. But in the real time, don't do it. Right now it has been approved or rejected. Now what happened? There is no task as created. If you click on this one workflow, see this is the workflow where we have created. It were went for approval and the user has rejected. Since the user is rejected, we went for the close for it. But now here if you see this workflow 1003, the user is approved. If the user is approved, a catalog task is generated. Since the catalog task is not closed yet, this workflow is still triggering. And if we go here, if I am going to close the task, so if I am going to close the task, it's go to the see the workflow is already closed here. So this is the thing where we can follow the same thing for it. So this is the workflow where this is the thing where how we can check the approvals and all other things for. So for example, see you simple here also I just you just want to add a one more task. For example, that's the one assigning task. You want to add delivery task for it. So after this catalog task, you want to add one another task once this task is. And also one more thing, I forgot it. So wait, yeah, yeah, one minute. See in the RITM, what happens? What was the user has entered the variables, it was visible, right here. But when you come to the catalog task, these are all not visible. See, then the user may confuse. If you want to do it, just go to the workflow editor, open that catalog task. Here there is an option. Oh my god. So here, no, this is no. 1 minute. Something's happened. Check out. See that catalog task. If you want to see the variables, what was the variables you want to see it? So here, what we can do is here the variables. See, select the variables you want to appear on the catalog task. These are the variables we can. If you want to see, can apply and update. See, if you want to add it, just you can add drag from here, right click on. If you want to delete it, just select this one and click on delete button so that it will automatically remove it. Now our goal is we want to create a one more task here. So assume that I'm just making this as a delivery task. Now, so here we can give the any other random group. I'm just making billing support. Huh? Delivery task for it and schedule we can add it, and we can add the variables from here so that we can achieve the same thing. The sequence of task, that means once this task is completed, then only this will be created. And let's see how it will works. So I'm just going to publish. Now again, I'm just going to the item again. Let's see. And submit. If you have submitted, so since it is submitted, it is went for the approval. It is waiting for the approval. So what happened, there is no task is generated. If the user is approved, let's see what happens. A task will be automatically generated, and see one task. If you click on the show workflow, it will show how our workflow is added here. So right now it is running the this catalog task. So what we can do is, if you complete mark this catalog task as completed, and let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to close this task. If I am going to close this task, so if you just refresh this one, now what happened, this was completed and it is waiting for the another task. If you go to this RATM, just this refresh list, another task will be added what we have added. So if you complete this task again, so this will be, I just give it the laptop charging is gone. So now this was the one. So like this, see, if you see this one, the second task is generated automatically. If you complete the second task, then I'm just going to refresh this one. Then this, I think still that task is not get completed. See, if the second task is completed, now what happened? The delivery task will be happening for the same thing here. So like this, we can configure the workflows, and also we can configure the task. And this is the basic thing. And tomorrow also we have a, I will work on the same this workflow. How we can add different approvals depending upon the user change values and all other things we can discuss. So till now, you have any understanding or any questions till now? So if you finish this one, so just to trigger approval, and you can try to trigger approval from the this one also, approval user also. So right now I have shown used only the group approval. Just trigger approval, and if that is approval, then we need to trigger approval for the user. Sorry, a group approval. Then you can check it. Okay. So this is the task for today. Any queries for the today's task? Yes. First, we can. I have shown it as a group approval. You just try it as a approval user. After that, if that is user approved, then you can go to the group approval and create a multiple task for it and check it how it is going. If that reject also, just create a one task which is for the cancellation. Okay. So okay, just try it and let me know any other questions you have. Any doubts for the previous topics or previous classes? Okay. Right. Fine. Thank you so much. We'll meet it tomorrow at same time. Thank you. Bye.